everybody. Oh, thank you for all of the happy anniversary wishes.
Yay, 5 years for Puvi.
5 more than I expected. For sure. All right, well, welcome everyone to the Craft Along. Kat is joining me as the audience surrogate this way.
Yes.
So whenever I don't explain something correctly, Kat can lifetime say, hey, that didn't make any sense. And so I don't have to have the 7-second delay to show you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to make a couple of notes for those of you who got the craft packs to craft along. I tried to include a lot of extra little flowers so you had some kind of choices. You're probably not going to use all of those flowers. You're probably going to use half of those flowers, honestly.
But extras if you want to do it again.
Yeah, and I believe I'm doing this panel at IRL Paradiso as well. So if you hate your colors for some reason, you want to swap flowers out later, bring your flowers, preferably still in their bundles. If you're looking to trade them, bring them to Paradiso and we'll just swap them out there and you can do the panel there live time with new flowers. So if you hate your flowers, no worries. I'm also leaving the craft packs online on my shop for the rest of today and tomorrow in case you watch the panel and you want to get another pack and you want to craft along later, but they'll be down again on Monday. All right, with that, let's get started. So this is a fun tactile panel. I went ahead and I'm making a crown one because I had to be extra. This is just kind of to showcase that with wire wrapping, anything you can wrap your wire around, you can put on a headband, you can wrap it to something else, you can make a brooch out of it, everything. So here, this is a Christmas ornament I spent a grand total of $1 on in clearance sale, and I'm gonna make it look hopefully classy when I add all the flowers. So that's something all of you guys can do. And another thing I did a lot before is I would make polymer clay horns and put those on headbands, but I've gotten lazier and stopped doing those. All right, so all of your flowers are in little bundles for the most part. Just drop my headband. Most of these flower bundles will come out pretty loosely. Some flowers you can just pull out of the bundle like that. Some of them you actually need to untie. I believe I did not give anybody any of the ones that get stuck really easy, so hopefully they'll just come apart, but if not, you can kind of use some force or get if there's paper stuck on them. So go ahead and start untwining your first flowers. And get your first flower ready with your pattern in mind. I suggest if you're looking to do something symmetric, start in the middle. If you're looking to do something that is not symmetric, start on the corner where your main piece is. So I'm actually going to be starting around the crown because that's where the big pieces of flowers will be. And the leaves, I recommend leaving the leaves. I recommend leaving them till last because the way the leaves are, you can kind of slide them in under the flowers, into them afterwards and place them a little bit nicer, whereas otherwise you're putting flowers on and moving all the leaves around. All right, so Kat, you want to get your first flower as my audience surrogate?
Yes. I would like to start with this nice, beautiful black flower because it's the color of my soul.
The best color.
It is, truly. I may have gone a step further and I did find my needle nose pliers in the bathroom.
Oh.
They were in a medical supplies tool.
Oh.
But I can straighten out the wire and stuff with them.
Well, I'm not even using any pliers because I am too lazy to do that.
I also have short, thick sausage fingers, so not ashamed to admit that.
Oh, you're fine. All right, I'm actually going to start with a smaller flower so you guys can see. So I'm going to start with this flower apart, away from the headband, so you can see what I'm doing. But when you are actually putting your flower on, you're going to want to have that flower super close to the headband, unless you're trying to do something fancy like cat ears or something, which is something I teach at the anime cons when I do this panel for the obvious reasons of all of them wanting to do flower cat ears. I guess I could have prepared flower devil horns for this, but too late now.
Well, that would have been cute.
You could still do it. It might take all of your flowers, but So I've got this flower against the back of the headband. I'm going to bring this wire up and around. So it's got a U, kind of this U shape around that headband. I hope you guys can see that. And now I'm going to take this wire and bring it around the back of the flower, over the headband and back around the back of the flower. So now I've made this U around the flower itself. I think you guys can kind of see that. So you'll notice that I did not go back around the back of the flower and actually go back around the headband yet. Now that I've made that U around the back, I'm going to bring that wire back down on the same side that wire first came from. So like this. And only now will I actually go around the bottom of the headband again. And then we repeat, except this time the wire is going around the front. So like that. And if you do this with your flower close to the headband, you're going to have a lot of extra wire. That extra wire you can just wrap around the headband. You can wrap it around other flowers to make it more stable, anything like that. So that's kind of your basic hold. And what that does is it creates this like interlocking set of U's that just holds that flower really snug in there.
Okay, I think that this has worked. I do think you accurately described it. It's on there pretty securely. So mine looks like this on the back. I think I have autofocus set to be like this distance. I'm sorry. But
yeah,
did manage to get it to work.
And have a secret. If you're worried if you're doing it right or not, if you shake your headband and the flower stays on, then congratulations, you did it. You successfully wire wrapped the flower onto the headband. So there are multiple techniques for doing this. This is just one I like because it's simple and it's very strong. So have any of you hit any struggle points yet? I guess I'll have to wait a minute for the chat to catch up. Whoops, dropping my flowers. Here I'm gonna cover the wire of this with another flower. So one note with these flowers is they're paper, so you don't want to get them wet. That's the one downside. But the paper I feel like creates such a beautiful. Yeah, I'll go through it one more time. It's such like a beautiful petal kind of shape. Let's just secure that. Right. Kind of loose, whatever, it's fine. All right, so let's go through that one more time. So I'm starting with the flower, and again here I'm showing you the flower way off of the headband just so you can have so you can see it better when you're actually doing it. Whoops, you're going to want to hold the flower like as close to the headband and wrap, but I'm going to show it just off the offset of the headband so you can see what I'm doing. So here, now I'm taking this wire and bringing it up. So now it's like hooked around the bottom of this headband, but it is not crossed over anything else yet. Now, taking that flower wire, oops, we are not actually going around the headband, but we are going around the back of the flower. Let's see if I can. Okay, so around the back of the flower like that. You guys see that? I hope you guys can see that. So now we've created a U around the headband and then a U around the back of the flower like that. So once we've got those two U's, now we'll bring it around the bottom of the headband. So now we've made another U around the bottom of the headband, but now the wire is coming out from the back side of the headband instead of the front. And so with that wire left, we'll take it and go around the front of the headband, forming another U around that wire of the flower. And then after that, you can do basically whatever you want with that wire. It's now secure. So we've created 4 U's with that flower. So U around headband, then U around back of the flower, then U around headband again, then U around front of the flower. Some other fun facts: if you place a flower and you don't like it's slightly off, you wish it were like a centimeter to the side or something. These are wire and you can just kind of wiggle them and move them into place. So here I'm going to move this one around here. You can move it back. Since it's wire attached and the wire is malleable, you can just gently move things. You don't have to take the wire completely off to redo it. Yeah, and we're keeping an eye on the chat. So if you're running into trouble, feel free to message in there and we'll see something. Yeah,
Bear
and yes,
with me
this
for a
video will be up later if your kit didn't arrive in time. I did notice they usually when I ship first class, everything gets everywhere, like including like California, Alaska, it gets there in 3 days. It looks like it took up to 7 days. Oh shoot, I should have closed the window. Oops, sorry. It looks like it took up to 7 days for some people this time, which is not typical. 5 days is supposed to be the max. But yes, this video will be available on YouTube later. You can also bring your kit to IRL Paradiso if you want to work with everyone else in person.
I'm not gonna lie, this is already like, yep, I'll put one more flower on here and be done and like wear this to work.
Yep, you can do that. I'm going like full OTT to just be so ridiculous right now. And another thing is like, so I see Kat's got your flowers kind of one by one lined up. You can put like flowers next to each other. You don't have to.
You can do like a.
Yeah, you can. The typical pattern I do, I should have made some ahead of time, but like part of why I do this panel is I used to make these and sell these and I was entirely too lazy to do it. So I figured, oh, I'll just teach you guys how to make your own and not make them myself. I like to alternate big and little flowers, just kind of gives it some variety. I'm gonna try and be sneaky and put a big flower on the inside of my crown.
So sneaky.
It's so sneaky. Get in there. Get in there. Ah. Get in there. Maybe I should have like wrapped 2 first. I don't know. See how that goes. Whoop.
Ooh, I can angle them. Yes. I'm here for it.
Yeah, you sure can. You can angle them. You can put a flower at the back if you want it to be like super fancy. Some other cool things I've seen people do with these is like if you have like a witch hat or a brim hat, you can take the headband and put it around the brim of the hat so it's like a flower crown on your brim of your hat. Oh, I lost my wire already.
Oh no, wire down.
So the flowers, I buy them in bulk from a producer in Thailand, which takes 30 days to ship. And when I'm buying them like $300 at a time and waiting a month. So you probably don't want my supplier. You can buy these. You can buy these in craft stores sometimes. They're usually lower quality and they're usually really expensive. You can get them on Etsy too. Etsy will have the same nice quality because what the Etsy sellers are doing is they're buying the same ones I get from Thailand, but they're shipping them from like the US. They've got a stockpile and they're selling you those. You can also look on eBay. Paper Mart sells. I get a lot of these little flowers from Paper Mart. And just look up like mulberry paper flower or mulberry paper rose, and you should get tons and tons of search results for that in a ton of different colors. Oh, these are not silk. These are paper flowers. Silk flowers are different. You could use similar methods for silk flowers, but you'd need to be a little bit more careful. Usually, silk flowers are better to be sewn on because the thickness of the wire will tear the silk. The silk flowers will also then, these are paper, so if you get them soaked, then they can get ruined, but the silk flowers won't necessarily get ruined. So, but a lot of these same kind of techniques do still apply to the silk flowers. I've contemplated switching to doing some silk flower ones, but like I have an addiction to these because they're so like, look at that, that's so pretty. Then they have all these like two-tone ones, and I'm just like, oh.
Ooh, those are pretty.
Yeah, I love those. There are other shapes too. I just like the roses a lot, so I end up buying a lot of the roses. Oh, some bridal shops have them. They're overpriced, but they're not as overpriced as Etsy, so that's an option too.
Here's a question. Where did you get the headbands from? Because these are really nice.
Really? Because they were like $5 for 3 hours.
Really? All the stock headbands I've bought before have only been like metal, and I know I hate that. Like on the head, this fabric is like super nice.
Yeah, I like the fabric too. These, what did I get? I got these from like a Chinese supplier that I bought in bulk from. I don't know where you would get them in the US. It's not really like it's not really worth it. I ordered this from the same supplier I get beads from, so like I'm doing like a $600 order at once, and the shipping is $100. The shipping kind of starts at like $50 now from China for that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you want to buy it there. But if you look fabric wrapped headband, I'm sure there's got to be some US suppliers for it that will sell you less. Because again, I'm buying 100 to 500 in an order that's a $600 order. So, but Sweet Mildred actually showed me that you can fabric wrap your own headbands.
Ooh.
It's not. It's really one thing I really like about Sweet Mildred's headpieces. Actually, is that she does like very nicely put her own fabric wrapping on all of her headpieces, where I am entirely too lazy. You will never see me doing that. You will see talented people like Sweet Mildred doing that, but not me. But that is the thing. You can buy the metal ones and fabric them yourself. Yeah, AliExpress has like AliExpress too is kind of the same thing. They're all getting them from the same sort of suppliers. These kind of headbands, I would expect AliExpress to like I would expect any headband listing that's fabric coated headband to be decent because these are not expensive. So there's no reason for them to cheat you because they're not saving any money cheating you. The paper flowers, give or take, these little ones, yes, I would say anything that these little ones are is going to be accurate. These really nice ones, I think, are all the same company in Thailand. I don't think there are multiple manufacturers really of these, like, and yeah, but yeah, now I've got little roses trapped in my tiny cage. Look at that. Could put a
So
bird
cool.
in there. How are y'all's coming along? What colors did you guys end up getting? I know I packed them all, but I've completely forgotten what I've packed everybody. So Kat pulled out those black roses, and I was like, "Oh, that was the color I gave you. That's right." Ooh, blue and white. That's a nice combo. I like that one. So like a light, was that the turquoisey one? Pinks and greens. Pinks and greens are a good, nice pastel set. Yeah. The navy and red I had a lot of fun with. I just the whole time I was thinking about sailor coordinates when I put that pack together. Okay. I put this flower on the side, but I don't think I like it. I'm gonna take it off. Whoops. Get out. Get out of there. Yeah. Alright. So let me put a few more flowers on this, at least. Then I'll show you how to do the leaves. So like I guess you can kind of see. I decided all of a sudden I wanted another flower here. So now I'm taking this wire and I'm just sliding it in between the hole, between the flower and the crown. So that flower's in there, and now I've got the wire hanging out from the back, and I'm going to do that wrap I showed you before with that wire. You can kind of wiggle the wire to get it in between like small areas, small flowers. And yep. And with these tighter spots, you don't have to do like the full wrap that I showed you at the beginning. You can kind of approximate, do what you can, and usually it'll still hold on fine. This is also where like using excess wire to wrap in other flowers helps. But again, if you shake your headband and the flower stays on, well, congratulations, you did it. Oh, you got some nice craft store ones to craft along. Oh, something else too is if you get flowers that don't have wires or something that doesn't have a wire, you can attach a wire to it typically, and then it has a wire on it. So when I make polymer horns for this, I would cast the polymer horn, I would put a little piece of wire in it when I baked it, and then it would be on a horn. These are Beastly Boutique resin horns, but they have like a hole in them, so even something like this you could probably put on a wire and wrap to a headband. I just messed up my horns. I don't even. Okay. Yeah. Paid in a yard sale sign. That is a different craft, but still valid for the craft along. I like that. Yeah, you can hot glue a wire to things and glue wire to things. You just have to be careful with that you know what glue you're using and that it's going to stay. I like to stab things. Just like I'll find like something and I'm just gonna cram that wire in there. If it works, it works, you know.
I made a hot glue flower crown that I actually have within arm's reach. It can show that is very old. If anybody wants to see it, I think I can grab it.
I tend not to like doing the hot glue if I can wire wrap instead though, because I find the wire wrap to be a little more secure and a little bit like more if it gets crushed, you can like bend it back into place and it's not as likely to break, but it's also an option.
Let's see. Here she is. This is like a fall themed, like
oh, that's cute.
Deer inspired headpiece. The white balance is a little bit off there, but and I have I got like these little birds. I love putting them in stuff. They are so cute.
Those specific birds are the birds because they're foam birds. Those birds that have stabbed many a bird of that with the wire, just stabbed it and been like, all right, you're on this flower now. It's funny because I do that in the panels a lot. People are like, I have this, like, because I buy those birds for the crafting panels, and they're like, what do I do with this? And I'm like, oh, you just stab it like this, stab.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with the back of this because this was probably, oh my gosh, 5-6 years ago. And so what I did was I had this gold tool, I braided it, and then I glued it over the back of the headband.
Hey, it works.
So if you are looking to hide ugly and you have some glitter tool on a spool, you can use it.
Cover the ugly with glitter.
Yes, it does shed on you a little bit, but you know, it's worth it. It's like free makeup glitter. You don't
free makeup glitter.
Yeah.
Cover the ugly with glitter was like my theme of my makeup today. It was just glitter, it's fine. Everything is glitter.
I forgot how zoomed in this was.
Oh, how far down the headband should we go? All right, so about here, if you can see that. That's about as far as you need to go. You could even go down less in a lot of cases. All of this part is going to be hidden behind your ears or behind your hair, so it's not going to be shown at all. In this case, if you wire wrap all the way down there, whatever your headband base color is not going to show for the most part. So you don't necessarily have to use the floral tape, but I'll go over how to do the floral tape in a little bit. I think probably most of you are not there yet. But yeah, someone mentions even if they're wire wrapping, sometimes they hot glue over the wires to secure it. That's also a good idea, particularly if you're wire wrapping something that's very heavy. Then it won't wiggle because like my crown, you might not be able to see it, but it wiggles just a little bit. It doesn't matter that it wiggles just a little bit because it's on there secure. But if you really don't want it to wiggle at all, then you can add hot glue. And that still gives you a much more secure hold than if you had just used hot glue. But yeah, about down to there. I'll show you one more time. Oh, rotate. Yeah, don't really have to go farther than that. Whoop. Yeah, and Christmas ornaments, great use of things to wire wrap. Every Christmas, I just go and I buy a bunch of shit I don't need to wire wrap onto headbands. And then later my husband is like, "Why do you have all of these tiny crowns? Do you need 10 tiny crowns?" And I'm like, "Yes, I need 10 tiny crowns. How dare you insinuate that I don't need 10 tiny crowns?" I'm going to take this and after this and show it to him and be like, "See, I used one of the single crowns." Yeah, well, since the question popped up on the screen again, yeah, about this far down to where my fingers are is where you want your flowers to go. And the rest is going to be under your ears, where you probably don't want flowers since your ears will be pokey pokey. Ooh, I see you started adding some extra sideways clumps of little purple there to balance out the little weight. I like it. That's right. Who doesn't need 10 tiny crowns? Everyone needs 10 tiny crowns. Really, he's just jealous of my 10 tiny crowns. I think that's the answer. See, I'm making fun of him while he's like getting me pizza right now, and he like did chores all day while I sat on my computer. But shh, don't tell him. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him to watch this. He'll never know. Oh, how do the questions pop up? Alexis is what's the name of that character? Alexis is the master control unit back there, making things show up. Oh, I've just popped a flower off the wire accidentally. That just happens sometimes. Grab another flower. It's fine. Oh, that is an excellent point, Kausner. Important. I should buy him 10 more tiny crowns so he can feel included. That definitely won't backfire on him and just be me having 20 tiny crowns and him having no tiny crowns. Oh, I'm not the worst with craft supply things like that now. I say that when the entire basement is craft supplies.
Tiny Crowns 2020.
Man. Tiny Crowns 2020, definitely. I mean, I have yet to buy the Animal Crossing crown, the tiny crown. I need to do that. I'm gonna bring him to an event one day, and you're all just gonna like bring him tiny crowns, and he's gonna be so confused. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna like, why are these? Who are bringing me all of these tiny crowns? I don't understand. Who set me up for this? Oh, did I properly answer the question about why the questions pop up? I think I like changed mid-subject. Well, the questions pop up. Alexis does some magic and makes questions pop up, but they're like picked. But yeah, generally I'm seeing them because I've got we're using like a fancy program where it shows me and Kat on my screen and in the comments, and I'm keeping an eye on it. So
let's see.
I kind of regret not doing the other flowers, but it's a good thing I have more crowns.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend for IRL Paradiso if you want to come to the panel. Then, if you have like stuff like this at home, you want to wire wrap to something, bring it with you. And if you aren't able to wire wrap it, I can show you. Yeah, the questions are just coming from the Twitch chat. That's correct. Oh, Alexis is our is one of our. So JFashion on Demand is me, Kat, and Alexis. Alexis is doing most of the tech and running. Kind of, we're using a browser-based kind of application called StreamYard, which takes both of the video from me and Kat's screen as well as like some other things, and then streams it to Twitch. And Alexis is back there DJing basically the video feeds, and has been doing that all day. So thank you, Alexis.
Thank you. Sorry, I just made a bunch of noise. I apologize.
It was all good. I mean, I had my window open for like the first 30 minutes.
I'm going to be a little bit extra, and just because I have this nearby. Sorry, that I just knocked something over.
See, Emmy, I know who you are, though. I don't know, actually. Most people's Twitch usernames are not related to like their usernames they use on Lolita-related things. So I've been having a fun guessing time of who's who. But I do recognize you, Emmy. You You are not incognito enough. Cool. Stay in there, little flower. Oh, are you modeling your flower crown there? Beautiful. Oh, fantastic.
I can't put it on myself, so I figured that the faceless human here could be a better model for me.
Beautiful.
Sometimes it's hard to tell if you're not able to, like, I'm like a put it on myself, place it, take it off, put it on, place it, take it off kind of person sometimes. So
I feel that.
yeah.
I feel that.
We're getting there.
I love like that you've got all the wig pins just stabbing it in the neck too for like extra punk.
I used to have them on the face, and people used to be like, "What did you do to your wig head?" They'd be like this, because usually I pull it out of the wig, and then wherever the closest spot on the head is where they go, and then it ends up looking like a Cenobite, like this.
Amazing, beautiful.
So he made his appearance. And something I forgot to say in my panel that I will say very quickly is the man heads are real person head sized. The women heads are small if you're looking to buy them. So.
I did notice that. I got one for a display and it was too small. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I actually made my female head regular head size with a Chipotle bag and some packing tape and a prayer. Yeah, I measured my head.
Amazing.
And just put stuff on here until it was wide enough because my wigs, like I needed to style them to fit me. And I wanted to show that at my panel too. I didn't get a chance, so
next time you need to have a longer time slot.
I do.
Oh, a skull as a head form. I like that. Though most of the skulls I've gotten have been the wrong shape. Speaking of skulls, that's the one thing where I'm like, I tend to go a little wild with the post-Halloween sales. Admittedly, I kind of get a little ridiculous, and I would fill the entire house with fake plastic Halloween skulls. So we did compromise, and I get one box. Now, it's a huge box. It's like one of those giant, like 25-gallon boxes. I get one box of Halloween supplies a year. That's it. So
Not
I have
enough.
a box of skulls. So the idea is if I use the Halloween supplies, I can buy more Halloween supplies.
I see.
So he hasn't found just wait till he finds all of the like taxidermy skulls I'm like hiding somewhere. No, it's fine. He'll just be like, why? Well, I guess he might be impressed that I didn't let the dog get into them. That'll be the secret. Eventual. The basement is full. I don't know, like, the basement is full. It was a mess. My friend Lizzie over the summer last year actually ran through it and kind of cleaned it all up, organized everything, inventoried everything, made it all nice and neat. And then we had the combo of I hurt my back, so I can't really move things or the boxes. And then I had to suddenly last minute take the small car, which is my car, to Anime Milwaukee, which meant that instead of like having all of the organized boxes come as is, I had to mix and match them. So it's a huge mess again. Oh, Daniel's there. Hey, Daniel, I saw you earlier. That reminds me, I was going to play Daniel music during this panel, and I forgot. I think I still... Oh, it might not work because I'm on like a headset. I don't know. I'm just gonna just everybody listen to creepy music on another YouTube, and then you'll have the full experience of what I intended to do. Just oh, I'm sorry, Moss Badger. You're stuck on a phone call and can't keep track of my beautiful, beautiful puns. Just here with your stacked wigs. Have your wigs been snatched yet? I guess that'll be for the fashion walk. You'll just snatch them one by one off the stack. We had so many submissions for that, by the way, and we kept them. So I hope you guys are ready for like an extremely impressive fashion walk. Alexis was back there like, well, I guess I'm going to be spending the next several hours putting these together. stacked wigs for a runway, yes, that would be cool. I know Belladonna did a really cool show that featured some amazing wigs. I'm trying to remember which show that was. Was it a RuffleCon? I don't know. Somebody else probably knows what show that was. Where Belladonna did the really cool wigs, including like the flower wig, and then they had one of their friends who has like a full beard and mustache come out in like a hime dress, beautiful hime dress with a huge wig, and this guy had a parasol, so he was spinning the parasol when he came out, so you couldn't see his face, and then he revealed the parasol, and it was like giant stacked wig, but he's still got the beard and the mustache, and he's in the hime dress, and he's doing a dance. Beautiful. Ugh, I hope someone has that video recorded. That was a good show. Yeah, RuffleCon. Yeah. Good shows. Belladonna always does good shows. All right, I'm not really happy with what I did here, but it's fine. I'll screw it later, I guess. Maybe I should. Well, you know what I can do. Did I use all? I used all my big flowers now. Can't show you the thing. I'll use another flower. Well, so I just said here. Oh, I hate this grouping I did. What do I do about that? I don't want to like. It's difficult to take these off. Well, I am just gonna put this big flower on top of it, and we're gonna pretend like it doesn't exist. So I'm going to use the wire to smush these to the side and then just put that big flower right there. Ta-da! Beautiful. There's no mistakes here. I don't make any mistakes. How dare you accuse me of making mistakes?
There are no mistakes in fashion.
There are absolutely no mistakes in fashion.
Only experiments. Sometimes they work out differently than planned.
Ow. Who am I asking to prom? I'm not good at those things. I probably wouldn't ask anybody to prom. I'd probably just sit in the corner and like be quiet and gay and like. Oh, so Creepy saying he also like his stacked wigs was an accident. Happy accidents. Lots of happy accidents in the crafting and brand scene. Lots of happy accidents in my friggin' designs. See if I can think of one off the top of my head. I don't know if I've got one. Oh yeah, here's one. You can't really see the print. It's kind of there. So like you see that, right? Well, so it was supposed to be intestines, and I think I did an okay job of making it look like intestines. But then the first fashion show I did was zombie themed, so everybody saw like this pattern and was like, "Oh, it's brains," and I was like, "Ah, that is so much more clever than intestines. I'm gonna call it brains from now on." And so whenever anyone like sees it and is like, "Oh, it's brains," I'm like, "Yes, brains, yes, intentional brains. Never intended to be anything else." Ooh, you have a mohawk. Well, so tiny crowns indeed. The fun though, with the mohawk is you can kind of like stick anything. Oh, well, the camera is like reversed, so it's like throwing me off. You can stick anything along the side. So you could get a bunch of these flowers. You could tie them together and make like your own. See if I can put something real quick. Like I'll just use that as an example. Like make your own pattern of flowers and have wire, like leave the wire in, and then just like stick that in your hair. And there you go. Pretend that that's cute and well designed, but like you could make something like this and make a little flower piece just for your mohawk to stick it in there. Helena was on earlier. I don't know if she's still around, but Helena likes to put a bat in her mohawk. Signature look.
It is extremely impressive, and if you haven't seen it in real life, you're missing out.
Oh, you were already planning to do something with like that with your mohawk. Well, good, excellent, good choice. Or feathers, yes. Love to do that with feathers. Speaking of which, this is also a craft you can wire wrap some feathers onto. I think I did that once. I made one really cool headpiece once that was like giant polymer clay horns, a lot of black flowers, beads down the side, and feathers. And my dog tore it apart.
Oh no.
Oh, it was antlers, not horns. Yeah, my dog tore it apart. I got to use it for one photo shoot. That was it. Then it was gone. Sad days. All right. Well, I think at this point, a lot of you are probably getting to the point where you want to put in leaves. So I'm going to show you a leaf now. Let's see, where am I? All right. So kind of like, I'm kind of now like just kind of seeing where I want that leaf. Do I want it there? Do I want it here? Do I want it here? And I'm going to take that leaf and take that wire and just kind of smidge it in between some of the other wires that are already there to see if it's where I want it. So now you got it kind of like, it's just kind of held there, and I can look at it and be like, do I want it there? Oh no, it's kind of weird. Now I can move it. That. I still hate that. See, I thought this was going to come out so cute, and now I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it over here. All right. There. Well, it's like it's kind of cute sticking up like that, right? Yeah. All right. So I've got it kind of where I want it. Now I can take that wire and do the same kind of wrap I did before. So it goes underneath all the other flowers. I think that's the easiest way to do the leaves. You obviously don't have to all the F's. Oh, I appreciate all of you for those F's of regret for my antlers. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pull up the picture because they were glorious. They were so glorious. Oh, I know which picture I'll pull up. And they were like large. They were very large. My computer will cooperate. That's not it. Click. Next. I thought I had it here. I moved it to this folder. That's right. Here. Okay. Oh, and this one, it looks like I use fabric too. All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen. Gonna see my 50 million tabs for a minute. That's okay. Whoop. So this is the piece I made. This is when I like kind of first started doing polymer clay. And this model is Spooky Goth, who after the who now is like kind of gotten kind of big, which is awesome because she's great. Boop, boop, boop. Scroll up. Yeah, so you can kind of see that. See, they were so large and they were so like flowered, and you can see that it was way worse at wire wrapping then because you can see all these wires, but it still looked cool. Did this one photo shoot and left it on a table I thought the dog couldn't get to, and didn't. The dog smelled these feathers and was like, "Ooh, delicious bird! Bird for dog? Dog eat bird?" And yep, alas. But at least I got like this is like at the time and for several years this was the best photo I'd ever taken, and this was in a mausoleum in the Atlanta Oakland Cemetery. Great place if you're in Atlanta to go for a meet. It's kind of like a park that's also a cemetery. I think the Atlanta Lolitas do a meet there every year. Pretty cool. But yeah, rip, beautiful horns. Oh goodness, I'll stop that. Okay. So how is everyone doing with theirs? Anybody running into any troubles now? Any like weird errors? Any butterflies lose their wires? Everyone's still doing good. Oh, you're right. Kat, your tools match your headband.
They do. They do. They're like the same color. And almost the same as the flowers too. Camo. In a weird way. I'm sorry. That was so dorky.
We all just did a whole like the chat just did like 17 Fs. Okay, I think it's okay to be a little bit dorky because we're all there.
I'm also secretly off screen eating dinner, so excuse me oh, now you can see the bowl. Ooh.
Now you can see the bowl. Oh, get in there. Dorks do rule. That's right. So we're the best. We're better than other non-dorky people. I don't just say that to make myself feel better. I swear. Oh goodness, that flower is just, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. Oh, goodness. What does that look like? Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll try to finish it up.
You could say try to wrap it up.
Hey! Oh no, Cat got a pun out on me. Oh, do I lose my title? Crafting mukbang. Just like stab myself in an eye with a leaf. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, she got me. She got me good. Ah. Goodness. All right. Well, just gonna skip ahead to this then. All right. So if you've got the floral wrap with your kit. Oh, this is a new pack. This is also a new pack. Okay, good. You got the floral wrap with your kit, and I'll show you real quickly how to put it on. So this is like completely optional. Again, if you did your wrapping of your flowers all the way down to the points that I mentioned, you're not going to see the headband anyways. And even though it looks like that you can see a lot of wire, when you're wearing this on your head, you're not going to be able to see any of that wire at all. However, if you've got like a really sensitive head, or like if you got a shaved head and the wires poke you, or if you just want it to look more aesthetic even when you're not wearing it, the floral tape is there. So I've given you all probably way more floral tape than you need because I was worried of giving anyone too little floral tape. And that floral tape, what we're going to do with it is that we're going to wrap it around starting at the end here, kind of see. Just gonna wrap that around there and like smush it on. So it's like just a little bit sticky. So if you like pat on it like that, it's gonna stick on there. So once you get it on the tip, you've got this like long strand that you can just kind of wrap around like that. And you want to like position it so it's got a pretty wide flat wrap so it stays flat, and so you cover more area with your wrap. And then I'm going to skip ahead because I'm not going to floral tape this piece anyways. When you get to the part here where you're going in between the flowers, you're going to want to push, when you're putting it against the bottom, you're going to want to push your thumb against it like this to hold that floral tape flat against the bottom. So go up a little bit. Gonna hold it flat against the bottom, and then I'm gonna squiggle. Got that flat. I'm gonna hold it now, squeeze it thin, and wiggle it in between the flowers. So now it goes in between the flowers nice and neat. I've wiggled it in there. And we just repeat, flat against the back, thin and wiggle it between the flowers until you've wrapped all the way around. Oh, Moss Badger, that was more than pun 2. I think that was pun 4, which is actually, I think, a low count for me. I didn't prepare a lot of puns for this one. I probably should have.
I had another one earlier, but I couldn't deliver it like correctly. And it was when we were talking about the leaves, and I was like, oh, Loliva. But I couldn't make it happen.
Oh, it's okay. Never be afraid to really branch out with those puns. All right, I'm done. Cat seems stumped as to that one. So how is everyone still doing good with their sets? Nobody having any issues? Oh, I did. Another pun here. Puvi really rose to the occasion with these puns. Oh ho ho. Oh ho ho. You know me. It's not going out on a limb to say I'll have some puns ready. Cat's just like, I'm done with you and your puns. I'm too busy with my beautiful flower crown.
I'm so like engrossed in like what's going where next on this headpiece.
Yeah, yours looks really good from here. That came out good. I think yours came out better than mine, actually.
think, yeah, it shows pretty well on this nice word notepad.
Yeah. That was a smart having a setup for that. My camera is really old, and it's not like, it's kind of like barely balanced on my monitor. It was meant for back in the day when you had those really big monitors, so it's got like this really thick clip for putting on big monitors. But now we have thin monitors, and I still have like an 8-year-old webcam.
We will give him his moment.
Oh, and I just pulled a flower off. Look at me. All right, well, we're done. I'm not super happy with this, but that's fine. It's there. I'll probably sell this, I guess, because I made it, I guess. So, OTT sweeted up. Yeah, in the last few minutes, I guess some other things. I didn't bring them to show, but you can get like rivety spikes. So like, I've got some shitty rivets on my seducing hand. This is a fun fact about these. These are one of the first things I ever bought when I was buying Lolita. I bought these in 2011 with my Bodyline order for $5, and they say seducing hand. And I really wish I had bought more sets of these gloves because they're, from 2011, and they say seducing hand, and I'm gonna be so upset when I finally like lose them or they fall apart. But that aside, the rivets all have grooves, so they're very easy to wire wrap. So you can make spiky headbands with wire wrapping the grooves and putting the spikes on. That's a fun idea. You can do all sorts of fun shapes by like, you build a wire frame basically of the shape you want. So like when we do the cat ears, I tell people to make a triangle with their flowers, and then they build off of that triangle. So you could do bunny ears, you could do bear ears that way, you could do horns that way. You just have to make it a little more 3D. Other things you can do, yeah, you don't have to wire wrap this through a headband. You can do lots of little brooches. You can wire wrap it to anything. Cabadon people want that glove. I feel like I try to pretend like I'm that person who's like, oh yes, I'm ultra confident and I'll just do all these things. But if I tried to actually cabadon someone, I think I would just like die inside and be entirely too embarrassed, and then there'd just be a poovy puddle somewhere, and you're like, why? Oh, speaking of tiny antlers, I keep meaning to do more polymer clay horns and antlers, and I keep not doing it because it's hard. But if you do want some, like these Beasley Boutique ribbon resin ones are nice. Sweet Mildred does really cute little antlers and little ears, and like for Lolita, all queued up, so you can go get theirs. They're pretty cheap too, I think. I think they're like $25. Super worth it. Yeah, and you can do these with anything. What else did I? Oh, one fun thing I did is I had like a big bonnet, and I put the rose headband inside the bonnet, so it made it like a fake Triple Fortune bonnet. Are those still a thing? Triple Fortune bonnets are still a big thing in the community, right? And am I
I think
aging
so.
myself? Okay.
I think so. I've got one right here.
Oh, well.
In here, I've got one. It's pink and black. I've only worn it twice, I think. But for anybody who has missed out on this in their life, y'all need one of these majestic beauties.
Oh, you have a really nice one. Most of the ones I've seen people fawning over, I haven't liked because they're like just the hot glue flowers, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. This I like though.
The ostrich feather, I've tried to like keep him in shape by keeping him in the box.
Yeah, Emmy, I had the same opinion about bonnets. I hated how they looked on me. I thought I just looked like an adult baby. I hated it until I saw Cloudberry Lady's bonnets, and how this happened is she was making a bonnet, like sewing the bonnet there for the fashion show at RuffleCon, and I saw the bonnet, and I was just like immediately like, that is my bonnet. And then she like put it down for a second, and I took it and put it on my head, and I told her, this is my bonnet now. I'll give you money. And she's like, okay, but I need it for the show. So I reluctantly gave it back to her for the show, and then later immediately absconded with it and threw some money at her. And that Cloudberry Lady bonnet makes me look like an elegant princess. It's the one bonnet. Oh, and the Bloody Tea Party modified my Metamorphose Witch in the Forest half bonnet into like a witch hat. That's the other bonnet that looks cute. All right, well, if it looks like there aren't any more questions, so I'm going to close it up so we can do some behind the scenes stuff to get ready. Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
He's ready.
See, this is
for
why I had you on
fashion walk.
stream. Because I like my headband like kind of failed, so now we have yours to show everyone.
Yeah, if I back him up, let me put the camera at like a normal human height, and if I back up, it might be a little less washed out. But here's the headband I made. Very proud of it. I like the little leaves. You can kind of frame your face with them. Just ignore his piercings in progress.
Hey, we don't piercing shame here.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. I've never used these kind of flowers before. I've only used the ones I used on that, which are the like ones you would buy at Michael's, the like fabric ones.
Yeah, no, I like
hot glue and a prayer. Man, this is way easier.
Kawaii Hellraiser. Oh, I think there's someone's drawn a drawing of that. But all right, we'll get off before Alexis like gets worried about us. I'll see you guys again in like 5 minutes for the amazing fashion walk.
Fashion walk! Get ready! Get something to drink and get some dinner. Stay healthy.
Ooh, I should get some dinner. Bye, everybody.
Bye.